Did you know humans can change their physiology? And I don't mean like small surface changes, like phase shifters. I mean an almost complete restructure and distribution of mass. I sure didn't, and I guarantee you that Diz and Wesel didn't either. They do now, though, I'll tell you that much, and they will never presume things again. In fact, neither will do much of anything ever again. I don't know why the Antarian twins disliked poor Reggie so much. Granted, they were bullies at heart, and seemed to take an almost sadistic delight in terrorizing their fellow students. I sure avoided them best as I could as well. Still, though, they always gave it extra heart to Reggie. Maybe they just had an intrinsic hatred towards Terrans. Or, hell, maybe they were just evil bastards. It honestly doesn't matter now. Diz will never walk on his own accord, and Wesel will be lucky if he can ever eat solid food again. Honestly though, I don't feel bad for them. They had it coming. It all began our first year at initiation. There hadn't really been many Terrans that joined the academy before. I think Reggie was the third one. Anyway, right from the start the twins got all up in his business. Now, Reggie was quite tall, certainly taller than me or the twins, but he was lanky and kind of meek looking. And you've seen Antarians, they're burly. You don't mess them. As you know, the Academy is orbiting Valentrula 6. What you might not know is that the Terran system is located just on the outer rim of the galaxy. It's pretty far away and nowhere near a core. I only know this because cosmology is one of my electives, and not that many people take it. Anyway, what that means is that time moves much slower in the Academy in comparison. About 1/4 of Terran time. You know, come to think of it, that's probably why they don't really come here. Anyway, Reggie tried to ignore the Antarians, and they never did anything overly aggressive, at least not in public, which is why I guess security didn't step in. They were clever in that way, I suppose. Everyone has a breaking point though, including Reggie, despite his calm exterior. Now, Reggie had a companion. The Academy allows lesser life forms under certain conditions. They probably granted it due to the fact they wanted more Terrans to join. I don't think they do any more though. I met this creature once. A small, furry critter. It walked on 4 legs, covered in a soft fur. It didn't appear very intelligent, being able to only produce a loud, sudden sound. I think Reggie called it a bark. He was really attached to it, however. He said it reminded him of his home, and it was as attached to him in its own way. I don't understand how the transmission of bacteria through an appendage in his mouth could be considered affection, but neither of them seemed to get sick from it. Here's where things got sideways. I was walking with Reggie back to our quarters one day. The same one he kept the creature in. Yeah, me and Reggie were friends, and our quarters were next to each other. And sure, Reggie was odd, but I did kind of like him. Anyway, we get to the corridor and see the Anatarians standing outside his door, just smirking, like the bastards they were. Despite the abuse they gave him, Reggie didn't hesitate. He approached them and asked him what they were doing there. They just said they were preventing the spread of disease throughout the academy, and then they left. Reggie entered his quarter, and the sound he made, that will haunt me to the end of my days. It was blood-curdling. The innards of his creature were everywhere. It was truly disgusting. I never liked Diz and Wesel, but that act made me truly hate them. So Reggie went home the next flight out. Never said a word either, and the darkness I saw in his eyes. I thought he was going to end his own life. Of course, the twins didn't get punished. No one could prove it. I didn't think I'd ever see Reggie again. Here comes the interesting part. Now, this must have been no more than 1 or 2 cycles later, in the beginning of the semester. But like I said, Terran time runs faster. Anyway, so there I was, as were the twins, sitting at the student house bar, when the door slams open. Who enters if not Reggie? I mean, at first I didn't recognize him. He looked so different. He was bigger. No, that's understating it. He was gigantic. I swear, his made appendages were bigger than my head. I'd never seen anything like it. Way bigger than any Anatarian, that's for sure. No, it wasn't a suit or some kind of bioimplants or nothing. The Academy doesn't allow stuff like that. Same way they don't allow any weapons or stuff like that. You've seen what happens if someone tries to smuggle stuff like that in. You'd never even get past the first control. No. This was all Reggie. The twins didn't recognize him at first either, and Reggie waited until the light lit up for them, so to say. Wesel barely got a word out before his jaw got dislocated. I swear, I've never seen anything like it. The beating they got, I can still hear the sounds if I close my eyes. The crunching of bones, The splash of blood on walls and floors. Shit, man. At one point, Reggie lifted Diz above his head like it was nothing and slammed him through a table. Fractured most of his spine. It continued for some time. So the moral of the story? No moral, but a word of wisdom. Should you ever come across Terrans, they can get angry. They absolutely hold grudges. And they can somehow change their mass given time. No, Reggie didn't get expelled. No one dared to tell him off. I mean, we did have Sedanians as security, but I don't think any of them could have done anything to Reggie if he didn't want to. Besides, no one really liked the twins, so no one could verify what had happened. Convenient, right? I did ask Reggie sometime after how he'd done it. I still don't understand what it means, the mechanics, or what metal has to do with. All he said was, "I've been pumping iron."